Namaste, yogis. Welcome to Sundance Yoga with Cassidy. I'm Cassidy, and today's practice will be yin centered. It was a rough 2020, right? And 2021 has proven its own set of difficulties, but I also believe there's so much growth and new awarenesses that have come with the struggles and the strife. So this yin practice will focus on hip openers, and we store a lot of trauma and really just stories that we tell ourselves in the hip region. So by opening and getting deeply into the connective tissues, we can create more space, we can move through the stories that we tell ourselves in our heads and even the traumas that we have experienced. And we create new pathways for contentment, ease, and moving through life more centered and filled with peace. So there are three principles of yin yoga if this might be your first experience with yin. The first principle is to find our edge. So what that means is that you want to come into a place in the posture where you can feel it, but you're not overexerting yourself. So the idea isn't to go as deeply as you can, it's to go to a place where you're feeling it and you know that you'll make some action over time. The second principle is to find stillness once you're in your edge. And then finally, once we've found our edge and we're still, we stay there. We stay there for a little bit longer than we would in a vinyasa or a hatha yoga class. So that all being said, thank you for arriving at your practice. Lengthen through the spine and out the crown of the head. Begin to focus, just becoming aware of the breath cycle. Thankful for our breath. Thankful for the ancient roots of yoga practice. One more deep inhale and exhale through the nose. Releasing the hands down, and we will begin the practice today in Supta Baddha Konasana. So that's reclined bound angle pose. So the soles of the feet will be together, and then we'll recline all the way onto the back. So make your way into this position. If you're at your home practice and you'd like to support the legs with a couple blocks, that makes it nice and gentle. Otherwise, find your place. The feet can be out further from the groin. They can be right in close to the center. The arms can be in cactus, or I'm going to begin with my left hand on my heart and my right hand on my belly. And right now, we're just staying connected to the awareness of our breath. And then place the left hand on top of the right hand. And inhale as you raise both arms up overhead and allow the backs of the palms to land on the earth behind you. If that feels very taxing and this is beyond the edge, then simply bend at the elbows and bring them in towards the center, the sides of the body until you feel comfortable. We'll just stay here for 2 breaths. And then inhale to draw the arms up overhead. Hold them level for a moment. Then allow the palms to face each other in Anjali Mudra and draw that into the heart. Inhale it up. Exhale back to the heart. And then release the hands to the outer edges of the thighs and help your thighs press together with the knees. Draw both knees into the chest. It might feel nice to rock a little bit side to side. Roll the ankles a bit. And then extend your right leg long, pulling the left knee into the chest. And then grabbing it with the right hand, the left hand can come out. And we're just going to cross the knee over the body. Not really a concern if your left knee is touching the floor. A little more important that we have our shoulder on the floor. So this is a really lovely spinal twist. Again, you can always have your block underneath your left knee for support. You can look out over the left fingertips. Or maybe play around with just looking up towards the ceiling, maybe closing the eyes, or perhaps looking in the direction the knee is pointing. As you inhale here, notice if there are any places where you're tensing up the body, you might be holding back. And just exhale, softening. Life can be hard, but we don't have to let it harden us. If anything, let the experiences soften you. One more really mindful inhale and exhale through the nose. Using the next inhale to roll flat onto the back. Draw the right knee up to meet the left. Again, it might feel nice to go side to side. Doesn't have to feel nice. You don't have to do it at all. And this time, extending the left leg long, hugging in the right knee towards the chest. And then as we're ready, with the left hand, taking an inhale and allowing the exhale to extend the right knee across the body. Taking care to keep the right shoulder flush to the mat. And then deciding where you want the head placement to be. You're finding your position where you know you can stay here for several deep breaths. Remember to notice if you're tightening one of your legs, if you're holding your breath. What is stopping you? One more deep inhale and exhale through the nose. And then using the next inhale to roll back onto our backs, drawing the left knee in to meet the right. Hug them tight. Make any movements that feel good to your system right now. Then you can roll onto one side and we're gonna come onto our bellies. Just gonna face this way. I think the camera's better in this direction. So come all the way onto the belly with the tops of the toes and the top of the foot is on the earth. And then we're coming into Sphinx pose. So check in with lining up the elbow underneath the shoulder and then the arms extend directly out in front of you. And if that feels like it's beyond your edge, then the arms would simply go forward more. Another option truly is just to rest the head in the hands. This isn't see how deep you can get yoga. This is heal yourself yoga. So find the place where you feel like you're at your edge and you can hold this posture. And then you find your stillness. And one thing that's kind of neat about yin yoga, we really get into our bodies. We learn to listen to our bodies. That's something you might hear often in a yoga class. But with yin, it's super important. And you really can't help but listen to your body because you're holding a posture much longer than you normally would be. So that being said, know that your edge is a movable edge. Sometimes you can go deeper. Sometimes it feels better to back it off a little bit. With yin yoga, if you're feeling the pose, you are doing it. There's no need to overextend the body. And we'll be in this posture for another maybe 30, 45 seconds. So check in with how you're feeling. And if you're ready to just come forward a little bit or rest the head on the hands, or if you'd like to deepen the back bend, perhaps you come into the seal pose. So the thumbs would be on the mat, the forefingers spill off, and you lift yourself up. Always remembering to breathe. And if you try out the seal and it's not working for you, what do? You go back to the regular Sphinx. So this is not a game of ego. This is a game of releasing ego. This is letting go. And kind of the paradox of letting go is that you cannot try to let go. You just let go. And one more deep breath, mindfully aware that you are breathing in and exhaling. And then wherever you are in the posture, slowly lower down, allowing your head, your forehead to finally rest upon the hands. And then just choose a leg and draw that knee up towards the elbow, just to release the lower spine. Look in the direction of the knee that you chose. Should feel really nice and peaceful. And then extending the leg back behind you. Press into the hands, coming into just kind of a mellow tabletop position. And then open up the knees as wide as the mat. Bring the big toes to touch here. Sink the hips back. Walk the hands forward. Extended resting form. Utthita Balasana. Now, if you'd like to explore your edge in this posture, you can perhaps bring Anjali Mudra on top of the head. And if you'd like to deepen the stretch between the shoulders, just walk the elbows in tighter. Another option would be to find your edge with tented fingertips, feeling the sensation of the shoulders in the back. When you find the mind drifting, just bring your awareness back into the breath, back into the stillness that being aware of your breath provides. And then wherever you have your hands placed, just gently release the palms back to the mat. And then walk yourself slowly to an upright position. And we're coming into a tabletop. You might want to move through a couple cat-cows just to flex the spine. And then from your neutral tabletop position, walk the hands forward a little bit and draw the right knee up towards the right wrist. And then we're gonna send the right foot just out, just ever so slightly. Then curl the back toes under so you can walk your hip back. Coming into pigeon, or in yin, it's seated swan, sleeping swan. So I'm still on tented fingers here, feeling a deep stretch in the front of the left psoas, and of course in the right hip. Now you might notice that your right hip is not landing on the earth, so you can always double roll your mat. You can put a block or a pillow underneath there, roll up a towel, whatever you have handy. And it might not be uncomfortable if the hip isn't on the earth. So we're just getting into our bodies. We have all these ideas we tell ourselves, I can't do this doesn't work for me, my body won't do that. Well, we're just shoving those ideas away today, right? We're letting go. So on these tented fingers, take an inhale and just see about rising the chin up towards the sky just for a moment, deepening the back bend. And then using the exhale to slowly come down, perhaps onto the forearms. Remember, we are finding our edge, knowing that it will change as we're within a posture. So you might have your block handy and rest the head on the block. You can always stack your fists and land the head there. Or perhaps you feel like going all the way down. Find your edge, find your stillness. Remembering to check in with the body. Are you holding yourself back in some area? Are you tightening your muscles or not allowing yourself to fully release? We don't have to be our own blockades in life. We should clear the way for us to be who we are. So don't hold yourself back, not just in yin yoga. Two more inhales and exhales in this posture. And using the next inhale to take your time, coming back maybe to the forearms first and slowly pressing yourself up. Perhaps a slight tilt of the chin towards the sky. From here, you'll sink your weight into your right hip. Then draw that left knee forward. And we're going to actually, I'm going to turn to face you. You're going to take that back left leg and cross it around the outside of your right thigh. Now, if that's too much, you can even just leave it here. So we're looking to find our personal edge, and my edge might be different than yours. And it's not a competition. So we're gonna hold our knee like this, wherever it is. Smile. If you'd like to try it out, you can always grab with the right arm that left knee, and then the left hand would go behind you, taking a nice deep breath in, drawing length to the spine. And then as you exhale, twisting towards the left side. We won't be here much longer. Keep with your breath, your stillness. If you've twisted to the left, inhale and slowly unravel. Everyone unravel. Moving into shoelaces. So I'm going to extend my right foot out a little bit, and then I'm just going to pull the left knee to join on top of the right knee. Now this is a very intense posture. So if this is just, you're not having it, good job noticing that about yourself. Simply extend your right leg, your bottom leg. This will relieve a lot of the pressure and you're still going to get the benefits. Perhaps it feels fantastic just to be upright like this, hands interlaced underneath your left knee. Perhaps if you have the bottom leg extended, you might wish to move forward a little bit. Oops, that's too much, back it off, or maybe you can fold all the way down. Same thing goes if you are in shoelaces. Maybe you want to give yourself a little foot massage. And then the options come. Tented fingers, perhaps folding forward. I can feel it deeply here, so I'm not sure how long I can last, so I'm just gonna sit in this posture. Maybe I'll be able to stretch deeper, or maybe I'll just need to back off. Either way is great. The most important thing is listening to the body and breathing. Keep breathing. Allow, let go. Three more breaths. Wherever you are, take it slowly. Use the support of your hands to rise back up. And this feels really wonderful. Place the hands behind you. Unravel the legs. Place the soles of the feet on the mat and just do some windshields. Oh, it feels so good, right? You might even want to go into reverse tabletop a little bit. Just move around the body. And then as you're ready, we'll come back into tabletop position. Might want to roll through a couple cat-cows. And then as you're ready, this time we will walk the hands forward, sliding the left knee forward towards the left wrist. And then curl, I like to curl the back toes of my right foot under, which just helps me extend backwards a little bit more. You don't have to do that. You could just be like this and then lower the foot. Now the closer that you have your heel in towards your groin, the less taxing this will be. And if you ever have a yoga teacher who tells you that your front leg needs to be parallel to the front of the mat for a pigeon, please just leave and don't go back, because we don't want you to hurt yourself. And that's really just, everybody's body is built differently. So that's the beauty I love in yin yoga, is that we're listening to our bodies. We have to, because we're finding our edge, right? And it's different. It's different on both sides. Like, I'm not really totally connecting to the mat here with my left hip. My right hip totally does. So now just a brief moment in proud swan with the fingertips tented, and then taking an inhale, tilting the chin towards the sky, shoulders are dropped down. And then as you're ready, come into what feels good for you. Forearms, head on stacked fists, head all the way on the floor. Your version, head on a block. Remembering that as we stay longer in a posture, we're getting into the fascia and the connective tissues and the musculature, and we are often able to sink a little bit more into a pose. That's not necessarily the goal at all, but if it happens, that's a good thing. We're just always listening to the body, and we're playing around with the edge, knowing that we can maybe try to rest the head on the earth, and maybe that's too much, and so we come back up. What a beautiful thing to listen to your body and not be in competition with yourself or anyone else. Take one more very mindful, deep inhale through the nose and out through the nose. And then using the next inhale to just take your time, slowly rising, pressing the palms into the earth, coming back up onto those tented fingertips, smiling. As you inhale, tilting the chin towards the sky, drawing the shoulder blades down and together. And now we sink the weight into the left hip, drawing the right knee forward. I'm gonna turn to face you, but you just stay on your mat the direction you are. And then grab the right knee. Now this side might feel differently, so maybe you would like to just keep it centered, or perhaps it wraps around the outside of the left thigh. First, we just hug our knee and we smile and think good thoughts. And then we check in. Perhaps the right fingertips go behind us. We inhale to draw our energy out the crown of the head. And then as we exhale, we can perhaps twist a bit over the right shoulder. Taking a nice deep inhale, using the exhale to unravel, shifting the torso forward, and then finding your version of shoelaces. So stacking the knees on top of each other, shifting the body around to arrive at this posture. Or if this is feeling like way beyond the edge, then the bottom leg extends. And you hang out here. I like to just begin upright while I settle into the posture. I can feel it so deeply that I might just remain here. But if I settle down and sink into this and feel like I might want a deeper stretch, then perhaps I would lean forward. Relaxing and breathing. I was listening to one of my favorite yoga masters the other day, and he picked up a water bottle in a room full of students and he asked, "How much does this weigh?" And what the answer ended up being was, well, it depends on how long you're holding it. Because you can pick up a water bottle and maybe you think nothing of it, but a few minutes passes, it becomes heavier and heavier. You're holding it for an hour, it becomes really, really heavy. And so the idea is that our life is like that, with our problems, with our stressors, with our old stories, with our traumas. We just keep holding them, and they really weigh us down. And what we need to do sometimes is just set them down. Set the bottle down. You can pick it back up again in a few minutes and you'll notice it's a lot lighter. So set the bottle down. Sit with what ails you. Sit with your suffering. Allow it to move through you. And I have a feeling when you pick it back up again, it will be a little lighter than it began. Take 2 to 3 more breaths in this posture. And then here's the great part. Oops. Sorry, I just closed it. My phone just went into low power mode. But here's the juicy part. Lean back on the hands. Windshield wiper the legs. Feels so good. Take any kind of movement that you're digging right now as you release. We've done lots of work today. And the beauty of yin yoga is that you will feel the work the rest of the day as well. It's long lasting and it's very, very healing. The whole reason I began my yoga practice was to heal. And I didn't find yin until a couple years ago, and it's been a game changer. So now we're gonna roll onto our back. Arms go up over the head. You can grab hold of your right wrist and then just walk your shoulders and your hands over to the top left edge of the mat. And then cross the right ankle over the left and just shimmy over towards the left edge of the mat. So you're in a crescent moon shape, Bananasana. Feeling deep, deep stretch in the right side body all the way from the ankles, through the thighs, through the waist, through the rib cage, even up into that right arm and fingertips. Settle in. Inhale deeply. As you exhale, unhook the legs, walk those heels over to the right corner of the mat. Left ankle can cross over. And then release the hands, and now we grab hold of the left wrist and angle and arch the body towards that top right corner of the mat. Feeling the deepening of the stretch. Notice the way that the rib cage expands as you inhale and contracts as you exhale. And then unhooking the feet. Open both legs and ankles wider than the mat. Let the toes spill off to either side. Release the grip of the wrist. Snuggle the shoulder blades back in towards the center of your mat. And then release the hands coming out a foot or two from the body with the palms facing up. Slipping into final rest, deep relaxation, Shavasana. This is where we put down the bottle. With each inhale, just breathe in the calm, the stillness that you generated during class. And just allow the exhales to let go. We hold on to things that do not serve us, and that's our bad. We don't have to do that. Nobody is forcing us to hold on to things. We are not chained indefinitely to things that don't serve our highest good. Inhale lots of love in. Exhale anything that isn't love. Bring your attention to the way your heartbeat has slowed down. Witness the depth of your breath, whether you feel it in your chest or all the way deep into the belly. And then begin to deepen the breath, bringing all of your awareness back into the space of your body on your mat, making small movements, wiggling the fingers and the toes, rocking the heels side to side, maybe the head rolls side to side, and drawing the knees into the chest, rolling onto your favorite side, Resting your head in your hands in a fetal position. Just stay there for the last few moments, absorbing the practice, reflecting on how it felt when you arrived on your mat, what you let go of, what you put down. When you hear the sound of the bell, gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Placing the hands at the heart center. Bowing the chin slightly towards the heart. Bowing to honor yourself for your practice, for your commitment to growth. Touching thumbs to the center of the forehead. May each of us recognize the moments that we are simply holding on to the bottle too long. May we each put down our bottles a little more often and pick them up when they're a little bit lighter. May we remember the ways that we bind ourselves and opt to let go. And for all of our shared collective offerings, together we bow. Thank you for allowing me to be your guide and for practicing with me today. I hope to see you again. I hope you subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you enjoyed the class, and I'll see you next time. Om Shanti.